Hi ladies, I'm back. First of all, I want to say I am so sorry for going MIA for basically the full length of my pregnancy, but I will definitely fill you in on this video and let you know why I haven't been. First things first, I just want to congratulate everybody out there who's had their babies already, who were maybe a week or month apart from me. Congratulations to all of you. So excited for you guys. And so as far as why I didn't do any vlogging, which I said I was, and I feel tremendously bad about it, but you know, things happened and just things kind of got away from me. So first things first, I didn't have the most easiest pregnancy, and the last video I think I uploaded was I was talking about I was having really bad morning sickness, and it all started, I want to say, at my 9th week, and it continued all the way up to my 16th week. It was really bad. It took so much out of me that was one of the reasons why I didn't video vlog, because I felt like crap. Just a couple of times that I would even attempt to make some vlogs that I just couldn't finish because I'm running to the bathroom. And also, plus two is my camera, for some reason on my other phone, just kind of stopped working, and I wasn't able to upload any videos, because I did make a few videos after the last one, but it was just not uploading, and then my camera gave out. So that was a big reason for that. But I mean, yes, there was other ways I could have done it too, for my laptop, but yeah. Then, like I said, I didn't have the most easiest pregnancy, and there, I can't remember the name because it's been so long ago, but there's some tests that you can, it's totally optional to whether you can have this, to have this test done, and they check for, you know, any different maladies, and it's run through the state, and you have to be a certain amount of weeks to get it done. I said I wanted to get it done, and of course, one of the test results out of the 4 that they test for, and it was for Down syndrome and some other names that I can't remember, which were pretty severe if they came back positive. And so I came back positive on one, and they called me and they couldn't tell me what one of the 4 was I being positive on, and I literally stressed for over a week to find out, you know, what it was, and because that was the soonest that they could get me in to see a specialist, and I was going crazy. Like, I was so scared and hurt, and because when you get to a point where you try to get pregnant and it's everything that you wanted, to know that something can take it away because something could be wrong. Because what scared me was, you know, the test results came back positive for one, and you'll go over with your specialist, and you'll go and you'll weigh through, she said, you'll weigh through your options at that point. And I'm like, options? What do you mean by options? And she said, this is why you would talk to your, the doctor, the specialist. And believe me, so many things were going through my head, like, no, this can't happen, this can't be, you know, why, you know, just everything that can come to your head. And so that whole week I had to take off work because I couldn't focus. Couldn't focus. Breaking down at work, every little thing, because I just didn't know. And pretty much I was in I went into a hole and locked myself in my bedroom at times because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to hear anything, and I just kept on replaying over and over, how could this happen? How could this happen? Why is this happening? Why did, like I said, everything. So I went to the doctors where I saw the specialist, and I had David, and I have my family and his family with me that day as well, because they knew how hard I was taking this. And even David, I rarely ever see him cry, and I caught him crying, and he didn't show me because he knew it would just make me break down more. But yeah, so we went to the specialist, and they told me. Now, before they told me, like, friends that went to the same hospital that I'm going to, even family members, they're like, he's fine. Everything's fine. And there's nothing for you to worry about. This hospital just wants the money from you, because they did the exact same thing to me, and it's just all about money. I didn't know if they were just saying that to comfort me, or, I know hospitals want money from our insurance as well, but I guess that gave me some hope to hold on to. And when I went to the specialist, and they told me that the one that came back positive was for Down syndrome, and he literally went, and I was like, so this means the baby has that? He's like, no, it just means that it came back positive for one, so we need to go for further tests to make sure whether he has it or not. So I'm like, okay. So basically he was saying that the baby came back positive for possibly having it, and that they need to do further tests to make sure and definite whether the baby doesn't have it, and how severe, and so forth. So when I was asking him, I said, how do you base this on? And so this is saying he does have it, and he literally said to his nurse, where's that chart at? And he went to the wall, and he was looking at the wall, and he was like, okay, he's according to your age, to your result coming back positive, it's like you having a child at 40 years old. I was like, what? That's crazy. But I'm seeing this in my head because I'm an emotional wreck. I'm laying on this bed, and I was like, and he's all, because you did come back positive, it pushes your age bracket up higher to 40. It's like, I'm only 31 years old. I'm like, that's crazy. So he said to find out for sure that we needed to do an amniocentesis. Now, I thought I was going to come back and have an appointment, and to where I can wrap around my head around this, that this is what's going to be happening, this is what he's going to do. And he said, nope, let's do it now, since you're here, we can take care of it, and you'll know that much sooner. I was like, okay. But then he goes over the risks, that sometimes people miscarry from this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, And so he's all, but people turn out to be perfectly fine. And so, I looked to David and I looked to my family, and they're like, do it, Leslie. And I said, okay, because they said you're gonna stress out even more if you don't know. So we did it, and it wasn't painful. It was just uncomfortable feeling of pressure. But when he was done, he looked at the fluid and he said, the fluid looks good. And he showed me on the sonogram that there's plenty of fluid behind him, in front of him, all over, so that he feels very confident that, as far as me miscarrying, that it wouldn't happen. And he just kept on reassuring me that the fluid looked good, and that they'll be calling me back with good news. So they said that they would have the results in 10 days. In 10 days, it didn't take that long. They called me on the 7th day, and when I left there, I was a mess still. But I told my sister-in-law and family that, I said, no, he doesn't have it. There's nothing wrong with him. I said, the moment that he looked on a chart and didn't base it on his knowledge or anything, and it was just based on a chart, and I knew at that point that whether they wanted more money from my insurance to see a specialist, I just felt very, very confident that they were going to call me and say things were fine. Sure enough, on the 7th day, they called me and said, there's nothing wrong with your baby, and confirmed that I was having a boy. So I was really excited, so relieved that what I knew was what they said. So I was very excited about that. So yes, I'm having a little boy, and I think I leaked it out a couple of seconds ago where I said he. But yes, and so everything's fine. He's fine, which I am very, very grateful for. And so yeah, so that was another hurdle that I had, a big hurdle that I had to go through. Then plus working 2 jobs and being so overwhelmed at both jobs and coming home so tired, and I lost track of times and the days, and I didn't keep up on everybody else's vlogs either, because I just come home, eat, and go to sleep to do it all over again the following day. And it was just an overwhelming time because of having to work 2 jobs, especially because in some point David lost his job, so I kind of had to pick up extra hours where I could, and that was difficult. So yeah, so other than that, let's see, when the time comes where you're in your weeks that you get tested for gestational diabetes, and I got tested for that. In the first round, they said my levels were high, so that I would have to come back again for a 3-hour test. That was fun. And when I did that, the girl, she did perfect, I thought. Didn't miss any veins, didn't hurt, but boy, I bruised so bad. It lasted for weeks. I was like, something went wrong in some way. I almost came to a point where this is never going away. It's gone now, but it was really bad and really big. So yeah. So when they told me it came back high, and then I had to come back for another one to find out for sure, I was like, of course it did. And then the other test that I just got tested for is the GBS test, and that was fine as well. As they say, no news is good news, because I went to the doctor, I believe 2 weeks ago, to get that done when I was 35 weeks. Yeah, 35 weeks. As far as symptoms wise, I had a lot of growing pains. Not so much as far as stretching, but like I never really felt my skin stretch. I had a lot of ligament pains, to where I had to wear one of those support belts at work, and I believe, and I know it's because I worked and was on my feet for so long. That's why I ended up having those. Coming towards the end, like maybe my 34 weeks, I felt really bad Braxton Hicks contractions. And again, I associated to being on my feet for so long, because that's the only time I felt them. I never felt them at home when I was laying down or anything. I was always at work. And coming to my final week of 35, I got them really bad, that I was like, oh my gosh, is this labor? But yeah, and then I went on leave on 36 weeks, and my first day of official maternity leave, or disability I should say, because the doctor put me off because she was just like, you're done, Leslie. As much as you want to pull through it, you're done. Because, like I said, my Braxton Hicks were coming on really strong. My feet were so swollen. And that was the only time that they got swollen. Because now being at home, they haven't swelled up at all. Not one bit. And I haven't got those Braxton Hicks like that. So, I was like, oh, I really was done. So sorry for making the video so late on Thursday. But I'm playing catch up now, trying to get everything done, for his room, and things that I didn't have, didn't get for his baby shower. I wanted to get, just the things that I need for him, now, not things that I won't need till later, just important stuff, because I live in a condo and I don't have the room capability of having all this stuff, and so I just have to gradually get things as I go. Let's see, I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so we'll see what she says. The one thing that I have to say is new, maybe 2 weeks new. I'm starting to get heartburn. I haven't got heartburn my whole pregnancy, and I feel it right in my throat. The other thing is, and this has been going on for maybe 3 weeks, I want to say, that I feel pressure down there, and I feel like I've been riding a horse for days. Like, it's so sore in that area that I'm like, oh my gosh, like when I get off the bed, it's so sore. Like, but the funny thing is, like, if I sit here and do Kegels, it doesn't hurt. But when I stand, it hurts. So I don't know if that's a sign of me